Hi everyone, Meteorologist Emery here in the Fox 19 First Alert Streaming Center for our Sunday edition of our 19 at 10:15 weekend morning weather show, where we are going to be discussing the first alert weather day for today and also impactful weather as we head on into the middle and latter half of the work week this upcoming week, with the potential for flooding rainfall in addition to strong to severe storms. So again, today, a first alert weather day, and we will break down more details coming up here very shortly. But again, hi everyone, Meteorologist Ethan Emery. I want to remind you we are live wherever you stream. If you have any questions or comments, you can join us on the Fox 19 Facebook page, where we will be answering questions or comments that you may have. Do want to note at the very top of this, I'm going to try my best to pinpoint locations and timing, but I can't do it for every single location. So it's your responsibility when you're paying attention. I'll be describing locations. Know your nearest city or town or county at the very least, because I can't answer it for small little communities. That would take the entire day to go through every township and community here in the Fox 19 now viewing area. But I'll do my best to try to let you know the nearest location to you, at least timing wise. So let's go ahead and dive into what we've got going on. So we do have that first alert weather day for today with that risk of severe weather. The timing still looks to be between 5 p.m. and 1 a.m. with that threat for strong to severe storms. The main threats still look to be damaging straight line winds, but I've also included isolated tornadoes as a main concern with this activity that moves in addition, hail and heavy rainfall. Now, why is that? Well, what we've got going on is, well, a kind of a complex scenario here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the SPC outlook, which hasn't changed from what I've shown between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. on Fox 19 Morning News. So we have an enhanced risk for the entire tri-state area. If you are familiar, if you watched yesterday, the SPC breaks down these risks and breaks them down into different parameters: tornado, wind, and hail. The tornado parameter is actually shifted a little bit further north and east. So pretty much our southwestern locations, areas south of I-74, west of I-75, does have that significant tornado parameter, indicating that there could be a strong tornado or two. So that's why I've kind of brought that isolated tornado threat up a little bit compared to yesterday. Now, we still have the potential for brief spin-ups. That's something also not out of the question here, but we are looking at, again, that threat still in lying there. So let's take a look at radar real quick. I do want to show you kind of the setup as what we're seeing here going into this midday and early afternoon. And by the way, before I go any further, yesterday I kind of screwed up on the scheduling. I didn't realize this was a very complex schedule this week. So what we've got is this evening, the chief will be in tonight. He'll be coming in as early as around 2 o'clock, and I'll be assisting him this evening for any kind of warned cells after 4 or 5 o'clock, and I'll stay here until the late evening. Meteorologist Aaron Ashley was going to be with us all morning tomorrow, beginning at 4:30 on Fox 19. Catherine's on a vacation, so she'll be out of town. And then, again, the chief will be in tomorrow evening, going in as early as 3 o'clock going into tomorrow. So you'll see me and the chief potentially if we have any warnings here this evening here in the tri-state area. So let's go ahead and break things down. What we've got here is a few lingering scattered showers. Some rumbles of thunder have not been present yet. However, something we're going to obviously monitor here this midday and early afternoon. Got this cell here. It did have some lightning with it, but it is beginning to fall apart as it moves off to the north and east. But do note this area of dry air here. This dry air, again, south of I-74, west of I-75, already drying out. And we are even looking at trying to see some breaks in the cloud cover. As we zoom this out, hope it doesn't zoom out too far. No, this is pretty good. Okay. So what we've got here is this drier air here. This, I think, is just some thicker clouds. I don't think that's really reaching the surface there towards the Owensboro area and point southward. But you can see some of these breaks trying to show up here. This is kind of moving in our direction. So we're looking at this continued dry slot of air as we head into this afternoon. That's going to allow for the atmosphere to recover a little bit from the rain we've seen this morning so far. Also, if we have any breaks in the clouds, it's going to add additional heating to what we're already experiencing. So that's going to be not a good thing to see. So today is one of those days where if we have sunshine, that's not good news. But even if we don't see the sunshine, that line of storms we've been monitoring and talking about is still going to be enough to be strong to severe. So even if you don't see sunshine, you don't want to let your guard down with this threat here. So don't want to drag this out too much further, but I just wanted to show you the setup we've got here on radar and satellite. So let's go ahead and dive right into the forecast model data. And again, I'll do my best to try to bring up certain locations, that way you are aware. But obviously I'm not going to talk about all of them because that would just take forever. So this model doing a fairly decent job with what's happening here this midday and early afternoon. 1 o'clock, 1:40, we have the Reds playing against the Giants over at Greenwich Ballpark. We are, of course, the forecast provider, so I'll be monitoring radar for them throughout the game, and it does look dry. There are a couple of indicators of maybe an isolated shower, maybe a rumble of thunder going into this early afternoon. I do think that is very limited. In fact, I really think we're going to be mainly dry at around 1 o'clock or so. But any shower that does develop may have a brief downpour with it, some rumbles of thunder, lightning, non-severe. So that's around 1 o'clock. Sorry, I ate a peanut here before I came in here, and bad idea. Okay, anyway, let's move on to the subject at hand. We go into 3, 4 o'clock. This is what's concerning to me. 4 o'clock, you can see here, breaks in the clouds. We've got sunshine and, again, mainly dry conditions. A big surge of warm conditions, temperatures in the low to mid-70s, really warm air. And with that, the atmosphere already has a lot of dynamics working with it. There's going to be some mid and upper level spin. There's going to be strong winds with that spin. You've got the moisture from this morning. You've got the temperatures in the 70s. All of those ingredients come together and allow us to see that threat for severe weather. So watch this. We go into 5, 6 o'clock. What we've got here, what this is, there's another one over here, and there's more down here below the monitor. But we call these discrete cells. They're individual cells, they act alone, and they'll be supercells, rotating thunderstorms. And those kind of thunderstorms can bring in all modes of severe weather. They can bring in some large hail, they can bring a tornado, they can bring damaging straight line winds, and torrential rainfall. Those are the things we're going to be watching here this afternoon. And the greatest risk for that is going to be south of I-74 and west of I-75. So if you're in Batesville, Versailles, Lawrenceburg, Dillsboro, Rising Sun, Aurora, Vevey, Cotton Township, Carrollton, Owenton, Dry Ridge, Williamstown, Walton, even into Boone County towards CVG. And then even our western counties towards Brookville, over towards Franklin County, Laurel, over to Greensburg, you're also under that risk of seeing perhaps a supercell developing after 4 or 5 o'clock. So what we're going to do now is play this out a little bit further, and you'll see what we've got is a line trying to develop. And this line is going to be kind of the main focal point. This is something we've been monitoring the last several days. And this line is going to eventually kind of engulf any supercell that does develop. And it's going to have with it damaging straight line winds along it. In addition, it's going to also have embedded supercells. I said discrete cells for earlier. Embedded means it's going to be within that line. So within this line, there's going to be rotation within the line. And that's what's going to allow that quick spin-up potential for a tornado. But in addition, the main threat here is going to be that straight line wind with this line of thunderstorms. So this model's actually sped up that process a little bit. This is around 5 o'clock. All of southeast Indiana between 5 and 6 under the gun with this line of strong to severe storms. And it begins to make its way into Carroll, Gallatin counties, in addition to all counties in southeast Indiana. After 6 p.m., it begins to make its way into the Cincinnati metro. So here's 6 o'clock. You've got Butler County, you've got western Hamilton County, Boone County, down to Owen, Gallatin, Grant, Pendleton County, Carroll counties, and still all of southeast Indiana. This is that main line. Again, this is the one we're monitoring. 6 o'clock. Areas to the east, still dry, still warm. We go into 7 o'clock. This line, it get a little disorganized because it is moving into an atmosphere that's not as favorable, but still is going to pack a punch with it enough to be strong to severe. And again, this is going to be for areas east of the metro. So eastern Hamilton County, eastern Butler County, Warren County, Claremont, Kenton, Campbell, Pendleton, much of Grant County, approaching Bracken counties. This is at 7 o'clock. Our western counties still dealing with some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Not out of the woods entirely, but the main line itself is making its way through at this time. Again, this is an updated model. We've been talking about the timeline between 5 and 1 a.m., but things are continuing to increase in terms of the timing of it coming in. So here's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, roughly, already into our eastern counties, that main line, Clinton County, Highland County, Brown, Mason, Bracken, Robertson, approaching Adams County between 7 and 8 o'clock. Our western counties, again, southeast Indiana, another round of showers and thunderstorms could have with it heavy downpours, strong, potentially damaging winds, and lightning. The tornado threat over here, not as great as this main line itself. And again, this is between 7 and 8 o'clock. We go into 9, 10 o'clock. There's that line. It's moving off to the east, out of the viewing area between 9 and 10 o'clock. Down here, still a little disorganized, but still have that potential for strong to severe storms in portions of northern Kentucky at 8, 9 o'clock. Also the Cincinnati Metro, another round of potentially strong to severe storms. We go into 10, 11 o'clock. Still widespread scattered showers and thunderstorms. The severe threat at this point begins to decrease. However, still present into our eastern counties between 9 and 10 o'clock. We go into 11 o'clock. And at this point, things are becoming disorganized. Still a lot of rain, still strong winds. So even though there may not be a warning at this point, still looking at impactful weather. And this is going to be a scenario, I mean, after 8 o'clock, we've still got the threat for severe weather in our eastern counties and Cincinnati Metro. So one thing I should have brought up at the very beginning of this is it's going to be really important to have ways to receive alerts, multiple ways to receive alerts. I don't want to see comments. I didn't hear my tornado siren go off. I didn't hear my siren go off. It's not a tornado siren. They are called specifically outdoor warning sirens, and they're made for the outdoors. It's a last resort scenario for folks who are camping, might be working outside. It's just one of those things. And you might be able to hear it inside. If you can, great. If you can't, it's not intended to be heard inside normally. So you need to have ways to receive alerts. A weather radio, a great tool to have. Another one, of course, the First Alert weather app. And if a warning is issued, we'll be live on the air here at Fox 19, tracking that system as it moves in. But you have multiple ways to receive alerts, and in the event of a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning, you need to know where to go. Know your safe space, whether you're at home, whether you're at work. And I don't think there's school on Sundays, but some locations might have school. If so, know where to go there too. If you're at Sunday service, whether it's morning or evening, know where to go at the church building. Know where to go wherever you are in the event of a warning. So, the timeline, 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. Moving in from west to east. Greatest threat for severe weather, if you live along I-74 in southeast Indiana and Hamilton County, south. In Kentucky, along and west of I-75. So pretty much Decatur, Ripley, Dearborn, Ohio, Switzerland counties, Boone County, Gallatin, Grant, Owen, Carroll counties have the greatest risk for severe weather here this afternoon and this evening. So I should say this evening, really, 5 o'clock and later at this point. So that's a lot of information. We just broke all this down in 15 minutes. Take a pause real quick, take a deep breath, take a look at those Facebook comments and questions. Hopefully they're respectful. These days, sometimes people can be quite rude on there. So hopefully let's not see those. and we'll answer any questions you may have. All right, we'll begin with Sarah. Says, hey, Ethan, hope you're having a good weekend. Looks like it's trying to get bright out here in Mount Healthy. Again, sunshine like a day like today, not a good sign. In fact, what I'll do while we're talking is I'll pull up radar behind me. That way, if you can kind of see it behind my head, I'll kind of stand over here. That way you can see it. But yeah, Sarah, so far I'm having an okay weekend. Tracy asked about Owen County. Hopefully I answered that. Melissa saying Hillsborough, Ohio, Southwest Ohio. Yeah, so we just may get stronger storms producing a tornado possible. Yes, everyone in the Fox 19 now viewing area has that risk of seeing severe weather, including the potential for tornadoes. So don't think if you live out Rainsboro, that's as far east as you can go pretty much in Highland County, before you get into outside the viewing area. You have a threat of severe weather just like areas in Greensburg or Batesville. However, they have the greater risk. So just because I'm saying areas to the south and west of the viewing area have the greatest risk doesn't mean that the risk does not include you at all. You still have a risk. Rachel says, how long do you think the severe risk is? Starting at 4 to 5, Butler County. Yes, I went through the timing a moment ago, Rachel. Between 4 and 5, we're going to begin to see storms developing to our south and west of the viewing area, move into the viewing area around 5, and then continue through this evening into tonight. And yeah, Butler County very much has that risk of severe weather, including damaging straight line winds and isolated tornadoes. Angie says, is it coming in sooner, better, or worse? Kind of indifferent. Because the race is going to be how fast will the atmosphere destabilize before those storms arrive. So I hate to say it's better one way or the other. So what I'm just going to say is that risk still present, still looks to be there. The Storm Prediction Center has not dropped the enhanced risk at all. In fact, compared to yesterday, it's expanded. So today is one of those days. Again, if you see the sunshine, it's not helpful because it's just going to add more fuel to the fire. That's already going to be a dynamic atmosphere for us here this afternoon and this evening. Lisa says, have your phones and all needed electronics charged and flashlights, lanterns ready for power outages. Lisa, excellent point. Great point. And people are asking about different locations. Okay. Everyone's talking about tornadoes. One thing I brought up yesterday is that, people get too caught up in the tornado risk, which, by the way, is a valid thing. I'm not trying to dismiss that concern or worry. However, with these storms, it's not just tornadoes. It's also going to be damaging straight line winds. And I've mentioned this yesterday. I had a former boss when I was in Bowling Green, a great news director down there. He told us in a meeting before, and I concur with this. In fact, I didn't have the right wording here with what he said, and I like this a lot. Whether it spins, aka tornado, or it's straight, damaging straight line winds, damaging winds are damaging winds. So today is one of those days where we need to take every warning seriously. A severe thunderstorm warning could have wind gusts at 60, 70 miles per hour. Those kind of winds can cause widespread power outages. It can cause, tree damage, building structure damage. I mean, look at what happened in Rising Sun a couple of weeks ago. And then, of course, there's that tornado threat. Of course, everyone knows that can also cause damage too. So this is one of those days where don't be so focused on the tornadoes that you miss that we have that risk for damaging straight line winds too. So because we have a lot of questions about certain locations, I will go through this model again, and I will show you the timing and locations. Take a moment here, look at the map, look at your nearest city. So let's say, for example, you live in Aurora, Indiana. You want to focus on Lawrenceburg. Temperature there, just for kind of a key there. If you live in Williamstown, Kentucky, look at Dry Ridge. If you live in Westchester, look at Hamilton. If you live in Laurel, you can look at either Connersville or Brookville. But either way, though, look at the locations, find your nearest location, and I think at this point I've given enough time for you to digest that. Now let's begin. This model not doing a bad job with the isolated showers here this morning. We go into this early afternoon, 1, 2 o'clock. Can't rule out an isolated shower. It'll be brief, it'll be light. We're not talking about anything that is severe at this point, but an isolated pop-up can't be ruled out. However, if this doesn't form, this will just allow for things to get warmer and drier quicker. Not ideal, but there is that slight chance between 1 and about 3, 4 o'clock. But you'll see here as we go this out in time, let's back it up a little bit. So 5 o'clock, right there. Off to areas south of I-74 and west of I-75, there's a potential for supercells to develop. And I got to take a pause real quick. I think the Reds are calling me right now. Sorry about that. That was the Cincinnati Reds talking to the grounds crew. So that's just kind of how it works. We have to talk with them, with the grounds crew, to let them know about the field conditions and what to expect and things of that nature. I muted it just because some of that stuff might be confidential. But either way, though, I'm telling them the same thing I'm telling you, at least with regards to the timing and everything else, the impacts. So here we go. This is around 5 o'clock. Let's go and put this back up full screen for you. The areas south of I-74 and west of I-75, we have supercell potential there. So isolated or discrete, so it's individual cells that could have with it all modes of severe weather. Tornado threat, damaging wind threat, hail threat, heavy rainfall that could potentially cause localized flooding. Again, this is at 5 o'clock. We play this out, you can see that line just west of the tri-state, over to the west of Greensburg, west of Connersville. That line is going to really form itself and move in after 5 o'clock and move into 6 p.m. Those little supercells, there'll be a brief period of that. They'll kind of merge with that line, and that will kind of allow for this line to kind of strengthen a little bit, kind of blow up, if you will. And at 6 o'clock, it's making its way towards the Ohio-Indiana state line and down along the Ohio River for southeast Indiana into far northwestern Kentucky. And so everyone in southeast Indiana between 5 and 6 will see showers and thunderstorms, whether it's a supercell or that straight line of showers and thunderstorms. Again, this is 6 o'clock. You can see areas in Butler County looking at showers and thunderstorms at this time. Western Hamilton County also some showers and thunderstorms. And as we play this out going into 6:30, 7 o'clock, that line moves through the Cincinnati metro area, going into Warren County, Claremont County, all of northern Kentucky. And again, Butler County still with this line of showers and thunderstorms. But do note, areas west of I-75 still looks at showers and thunderstorms. Now at this point, those showers and thunderstorms are a bit disorganized, but still could be strong with heavy rainfall, strong, potentially damaging winds, and lightning. The atmosphere is just pretty juicy at this point. We go into 8 o'clock. Still, that line begins to break a little bit. However, it's still going to be present for our eastern counties. And do note, still heavy rainfall, damaging straight line winds, and isolated tornado threat can't be ruled out here. But do know that the strongest of thunderstorms still at this time will be south of I-74, west of I-75. But everyone at this point at 8 o'clock still under the gun for the threat of severe weather. We play this out to 8:30. Still looking at that line of severe weather potential for our far eastern locations. And then there's that unorganized line of showers and storms in Warren County, Hamilton County, Kenton, Campbell counties down to Owen and Grant counties at this time at 8:30. We go into 9:30. That line continues to move off east. This is a second line that moves through. A little less organized. The threat still there, but not as strong as the initial line. But still with it, damaging straight line winds, isolated spin up, heavy rainfall. And then we go into 10, 11 o'clock, still looking at some strong thunderstorms, but that intensity begins to decrease. And then after midnight, things begin to fall apart. And after 1 a.m., the severe threat is done at that point. All right. Take a look one more time through some of these comments here. Rachel says, just wondering if I need a plan to stay the night where we're going to this event or if we can come home tonight. I think you can come home later, but I would say if you're going to be at an event, let's say the event is at 7 o'clock. I would wait until that severe threat ceases. So if you need to stay a little bit later, so 11 p.m., midnight, you might have to. But after that, you could probably go home at that point. So that is just my judgment at the very least with this. So if you're, like I said, if you're going to an event at 6, 7, 8 o'clock and it's going to last a couple of hours, just plan on staying there until at least 10, 11 o'clock. After that, reorganize, regroup. What's radar look like? What are we saying on the air at Fox 19? What's the app saying? And at that point, you can make that decision to either go home or stay. But I'm not telling you to indefinitely stay. Not certainly. All right. All right. Okay. I went through all of that. Hopefully you were able to digest those locations. Again, I can't answer every question for every location, but hopefully what I just did there was enough for you to process. And apologies for that kind of pause there with the Reds calling. We got to take those. But I will say, even outside of the showers and storms today, it is going to be a windy day. We're looking at wind gusts already this morning at 15 to 20 miles per hour, and it's only going to get stronger as we head into this afternoon. So this is looking at 1, 2 o'clock. Again, this is before the storms. Wind gusts over 30 miles per hour, up to 40 miles per hour. And so it's not going to take much for these storms to produce damaging straight line winds. That's why we're talking about that being a primary threat. But there's also that tornado threat. There's also the heavy rainfall. Hail threat's not as large, but in a supercell or those individual cells, that's where that hail threat doesn't lie. But strong winds, isolated tornado, heavy rainfall, all concerns with these storms. So wind gusts, 6 o'clock, over 30 miles per hour. And at this point, it's kind of silly to show this map because those storms may produce even stronger wind gusts, and that is just going to be dependent on where that line of storms will be. But I will say, because we're going to need to wrap this up soon, it's been on here for 30 minutes, this is going to be setting the stage for an active weather pattern. Now, Monday and Tuesday do look dry at this point, and we are also looking at severe weather threats increasing going into Wednesday. So let's go ahead and show you that model data right now. Again, this is showing us this evening and tonight. There's that line, 8 o'clock. You can see it moving through Cincinnati Metro at this time. This is a wider ranged model, and I'm going to show you this one because we're going to talk about next week, or this upcoming week, that is. So Monday, showers, maybe early morning, but we will dry out heading into the midday, and an afternoon just cloudy, cool, temperatures falling through the day on Monday. We head into Monday night to Tuesday, getting a little bit chilly. And then Tuesday, partly cloudy, temperatures just below average for this time of the year. Tuesday's the driest day, mind you, of the next several days. So if you got outdoor plans, maybe you need to mow, I would suggest Tuesday. In fact, I strongly recommend Tuesday if you need to mow. Because after Tuesday, you're not getting opportunity to mow at least until next Sunday. So a week from today will be the next dry day. And even then, if you're going to try to mow, yards will likely be ponded or soaked. Or hopefully not, but potentially even flooded. And you'll see why here in a moment. So this is Tuesday. Again, Tuesday's dry. Use that time to do those outdoor chores if you need to do those. Wednesday morning looks to start off dry. What we've got here, though, and this is kind of far enough out to where details are still kind of questions, but we are looking at a warm front moving in Wednesday morning, and that could trigger a few showers in the morning. Can't rule that out. But Wednesday afternoon, we are looking at a very powerful low pressure system moving in. It's going to pull in a lot of that Gulf moisture, a lot of storm energy with us on Wednesday. And Wednesday, we are looking at the threat, another threat of strong to severe storms. So Wednesday's another day. We're going to need to keep a close eye on it. Very likely going to be a first alert weather day. So if you got plans on Wednesday, particularly afternoon through the evening, know where to go for a safe space. Check updates on the First Alert Weather app and with us here at Fox 19. Because simply it's going to be kind of active weather moving in on Wednesday. Wednesday night to Thursday, look at this line, dark green, yellow, very heavy rainfall here. And this could change as to where this line sets up. But the last 2 days, this line has not budged. And that's a concern because do note, this dark green, yellow, orange indicative of heavy rain and strong thunderstorms potentially. This is Thursday. We go into Thursday night into Friday. Note that line does not move. We go into Thursday night to Friday. It finally moves. However, we've got more rain coming in Friday evening, Friday night, Saturday night. In fact, this new model run's now showing Sunday rain. So I might have to update that in the 7-day forecast that we could be very well seeing rain on Sunday as well. And then Monday, we are looking at some conditions here, cooling things down. And I think we're just going to see rain. This model's trying to introduce some snow in the Ohio Valley region, but this far out, still some question marks. But I do want to show you a couple of things. Let's first show you today, because we got to focus on today, and then we'll shift our focus on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even Sunday. So the entire Fox 19 now viewing area today, we are looking at an enhanced risk of severe weather, 5 p.m. to 1 a.m., main threat damaging straight line winds, an isolated tornado threat, heavy rainfall, large hail conditionally with those supercell storms. In addition, the Weather Prediction Center has a thing called excessive rainfall outlook, meaning looking at the potential for flash flooding. The timeline, same, 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. We have a marginal risk. That's a lower end risk, but the risk is not zero. So today, severe weather, winds, tornado threats appear to be the highest risk in comparison to flooding or hail. We go until Wednesday of this upcoming week, once the graphic loads. And this has shifted a little bit compared to yesterday, because yesterday we showed you this, and the enhanced line was in our western counties. Now it's most of the Fox 19 Now viewing area. This is all the way out to Wednesday. We've discussed this before. The Storm Prediction Center does not often give us slight or enhanced risks this far out unless it means business. This looks like it means business. So there's a concern for strong to severe storms. In addition, flooding rain. Let me show you the Weather Prediction Center's excessive rainfall outlook, and meaning with that flash flooding risk. And that is a slight risk of excessive rainfall. So we are concerned for flash flooding on Wednesday. But not just Wednesday. In fact, Thursday, we also have a risk of severe weather. Mind you, it's a slight risk. It's a lower risk than Wednesday. However, again, this far out, they don't often put these issues out there this far out. So we have a slight risk of severe weather on Thursday. There's a concern for strong to severe storms. However, Thursday, kind of the flip of the coin here, Thursday's risk is actually greater for flooding versus severe weather, because take a look at this. A slight risk of excessive rainfall or flash flooding for most of the tri-state area. In our southwest counties, a moderate risk. That's a level 3 out of 4. This far out already for Thursday. So we are concerned for severe weather and flooding rainfall Wednesday and Thursday at the very least. I do want to show you one model of rainfall for what to expect this week. So let's play this out until tonight to tomorrow. So tonight, looking at rainfall totals anywhere from about 1/4 of an inch of rainfall to more than an inch of rain. Locally, higher amounts will be possible. The flooding risk this afternoon, this evening, tonight, it's limited, but it's not zero. It's going to be very localized. However, this is going to kind of soften the grounds, if you will, to what's going to be coming later this week. So, base here, about an inch. We go to Wednesday and Thursday, couple of inches of rain. Thursday into Friday, another couple of inches of rain. Friday into Saturday, another couple of inches of rain going through Sunday. Now, mind you, this is just a model. However, it is concerning to see several inches of rain in a period of a few days. So, we are looking at that risk of flash flooding. We're going to monitor streams, creeks, and rivers Wednesday through Sunday at the very least of next weekend. So this is going to be a very active weather pattern. You're going to need to bear with us as we are going to try to message this out there for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm showing you all that stuff now because that is on the horizon here. But we got to focus on this evening and tonight first with that First Alert Weather Day. You want to stay updated on that First Alert Weather app. You want to check out our 24/7 weather streaming channel. We're going to post updates on there frequently. The Chief's coming in this afternoon. I will be assisting the Chief here later this afternoon and this evening. If there's any warnings, Steve will be on the wall talking about it, the wall meaning the green screen. And then after that, he'll be with you for the 10 o'clock newscast tonight here on Fox 19. But that's going to do it for us. We got to get things updated for the Reds. We got to do an update for the weather app. We've got to kind of regroup and look at some updated data. And again, we'll post some updates here this afternoon right here on Fox 19. So thank you for those of you who joined us here wherever you stream. I'll take one last look at the comments and questions, but at this point we are going to conclude things here pretty shortly. All right. Folks are asking about the Reds game. I think the Reds game is going to go in with no issues. There is a slight chance for an isolated shower moving in middle and towards the end of the game, but I do believe that the majority of the game will be dry. Of course, as I mentioned, we're going to be monitoring radar and looking at those conditions. It's going to be very, it's why we get paid here at Fox 19 to forecast not just for you all, but also for the Reds. So a tall task to be made. But again, we're going to be monitoring this stuff. We'll post updates here this afternoon right here on Fox 19. But that's going to do it for us. Thank you for trusting us. Thank you for joining us. We'll go live if necessary for any kind of updates, or if any warning is issued, we'll be live breaking in right here on Fox 19. Have yourself a wonderful day. Stay safe. Know your safe space in the event of a warning. And for updates, check out that First Alert Weather app and have multiple ways to receive alerts.